Probably some of you have too. One of them's going to be talking right after me, Ken Pipes. And most of the heroes I know, though, will be 19 for eternity. But my time in the Marine Corps was pretty brief. I did 2 years and 2 weeks on active duty. And then they said, you guys are done. They came out, had a levy of folks, and it said, we don't need you anymore. You guys are out. So we got convenience of the government discharges, and I never looked back to the Marine Corps. For 20 years, I forgot about it, and till the Gulf War, and we all started getting a little more patriotic about the various things we were doing. I know you guys you talk about this heroic thing. It's something that I guess you just have to have done what you did. You're talking about being a man. Being a man is stepping up to the plate and doing your duty. You guys all signed on the dotted line. You signed and you said, I'm raising my right hand, I'm going to serve my country as either a Marine or sailor or whatever other branch you're in. That's part of being a man. The only thing you got at the end of the day is your, what's the word I'm looking for? You've got your word of honor. That has to mean something to you. When you go out and you leave the Marine Corps, like I did, I've been wearing this uniform for 42 years. That's quite a while, longer than most Marine generals. So that's a long time to wear this uniform. And over the years, I've learned that you have certain traditions you got to uphold and certain things you got to live up to. You can't go out, being on duty and then go out, be a liberty risk and turn into a shitbird that's getting locked up for something, and then next thing you know, you're getting office hours or whatever they do to you. They probably kick you out now, but back then they didn't really do that. They just either write you up or beat you up, one or the other. So, but you guys asked me about how did I get in the Marine Corps. I didn't have much of a break in service the day I graduated from high school. I was on the delayed entry program. Some of you guys heard of that? Yeah, the delayed entry program for me started at 4:45 the next morning, and at 9 o'clock that night I was standing on yellow footprints at MCRD getting picked up in a new platoon, and I wondered what I'd gotten myself into. I was in the Army Full Metal Jacket boot camp where they beat the living crap out of you. So if you don't do things right. So 4 months to the day later, I got my choice. I didn't get my choice of MOSs, but I didn't have a choice. We were all 0311s. Every guy in my platoon was an 0311, unless they had a wing wiper guarantee. But my 4 years, when I got down to staging battalion, which was at Las Pulgas, we went over as individual replacement. You got to realize the only units in Vietnam, all the units from here were gone. You had the 1st Marine Division, 3rd Marine Division from Okinawa and Hawaii, and then you had the 5th Marine Division, and they had elements sent over there. I know we just talking about these guys from 1-9. I know they did all the fighting, but we had, there were 23 infantry battalions in Vietnam in 1968, 23. So that's a lot of infantry battalions between 2 divisions, and everybody got their fair share of fun and days in the barrel. So I arrived at Las Pulgas Staging Battalion, first time I ever touched an M16. And they go, this is the rifle you're going to carry when you get to Vietnam. And I go, wow, we've been training with M1 Garand and M14s. So they go, well, if you don't like it, give it a shot. Put 10 rounds in it, put it on full auto, fire it full auto. I touched the trigger, then I thought I had a stoppage. It was empty. I'm going, man, this thing shoots pretty fast, so we had to get used to that. But they asked, the only choice I ever had in the Marine Corps was, what division do you want to go to when you go to Vietnam? And I go, what are my choices? I had no idea what a division was, or who they were, or any of that. So they said, you can go to the 1st or the 3rd. And I go, what's the difference? I goes, there isn't any difference. And I go, just pick one. So, get to Vietnam 4 months to the day after I joined the Marine Corps. They take your SRB, you're in Da Nang, they take a magic marker, they write a fraction on the front of it, and they go walk down this line of hooches, find the corresponding fraction, that's the unit, check in. So you walk down, if you said 1-4 on it, you walk down till you find 1-4, you walk down to find 226, 1-3, whatever it would be. You walk in, go in a hooch, somebody starts yelling at you. So that's how you check that. So my time in Vietnam was pretty, I arrived out in the field, went out the first day, they go, get on this truck. I get on the truck, I got all my new 782 gear. And I go, what are we gonna do with all this stuff? I don't see anybody else carrying this stuff. So out we go, hop in the bed of the truck, bought my brand new air mattress the first day, riding in the truck because it hit a rolled barbed wire. So that was done. I never did sleep one night on an air mattress. I went in. We go out there, the truck stops, in the middle of nowhere, we're at a bridge, out in the jungle. He goes, get out, go down that trail, check in. Your squad's down there. I go, what squad? I don't see any. Just go down the trail, they're there. I get down there, I look around, walk in, there's a couple of ponchos hooked together, some sandbags, and there's a guy on radio watch. And I go, where is everyone? And he goes, they're out on a patrol. Okay, so I start quizzing this guy. And I go, well, what's going on here? What do we do? What, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, finally he stopped me and he said, I don't know, I've only been here 2 days. So that was the Marine Corps I was in. It was learn while you learn. We were all a bunch of 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids, all of us. And we learned a lot of things we learned the hard way. But being a man is one of the things you got to learn about. You know that. You don't fall asleep on watch, right? Never, never. Especially in a war zone, you'll get your throat slit or your brains blown out. You do not want that to happen. So I did my time. We went out. Next thing we know, they're moving us to Quezon, but they told us we were going to a place called Cantien. This was right before the siege started and the Tet Offensive started. Our battalion was tasked with the Way City area of Phu Bai. That's where it ended up. 5th Marines, 1st Marines fought in there during the Tet Offensive in the Battle of Way City. If that had started 1 week earlier, we would have been there instead. Mid-flight, they diverted us to Quezon. And I remember how we got up there in a C-130. How many people do you think you could put on a C-130? Standing up with all your 782 gear, everything you own between your legs and your rifle barrel against your nose, and then you're crowded in, and then some gunny goes, pack it in, we got another platoon to get on here. So we flew standing up in the C-130. But it was only a half-hour ride. You go up and then down, and then you're landing. And I get off in this jungle, and it's foggy, and I'm going, oh God, where am I? So we did that. It was a lot of fun for 3 months. And during that 3-month time, you learned a lot of things. You learned how to dig. You learned how to build sandbags. You learned how to stretch perfect barbed wire fences. Laid, triple, what do they call that? Tanglefoot, the concertina, triple apron and all that kind of stuff. You learn all those techniques, setting out booby traps, getting shot at all the time. One thing you got to learn about was filth. That's one thing they don't tell you in the war movies, that you don't really read about. But there is nothing like having a continuous case of crabs for 3 consecutive months and having them so bad they're in your eyebrows. And as soon as you kill them, they're back. They're back before the other ones even are warm yet or room temperature. So that was a filthy mess. So that's one of the things that is not in the history books. And I need to keep this a little bit light for you guys, but I learned a lot when I was in there. We moved along the DMZ. From there we moved to next to Cantien. We relieved Bravo 1-4 up at Cantien. And they had had there was a lot of fighting going on there. When you walked around out there, you knew they'd been fighting there for years. It looked like a trash pit, you know, it looked like the moon with trash on it out there. So we were out there, we were ambushed, and you know, everybody, well, you're a hero, you got this medal. I'd exchanged the medal for all my buddies. We had 25 guys killed and wounded in one firefight. We had 8 guys left in my platoon at the end of the day, and I was the platoon leader as a PFC. And it was an ugly, ugly day, and I know a lot of you guys have been in that, and I wanted to just say that one of the things you need to look at is it comes from down inside. Your men, you guys are here doing a man's job, do it like men. And the one thing I'm going to tell you, I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud of all of you. And one of the things that you talk about heroes, the next one is coming up right now. It's Lieutenant Colonel Ken Pipes. He was a company commander with us. I was in Echo Company, and he was in Bravo Company, 26 Marines. Those guys, his company sustained 62 guys killed in 3 months just in his rifle company. And Tim, he isn't going to tell you this, but he led the last bayonet attack in Marine Corps history that was company size. So I'm going to hand this off to Ken right now. Ken is one of my heroes, and he should be one of yours too. He's one of the country's heroes. So anyway, Ken Pipes, here you go.